We're starting this topic and name of this topic is permutation and combination. First of all, permutation means arrangement and combination means selection. And before we start this thing, we are using two kind of rules in it. Some rule of counting and product rule of counting. Some rule of counting, this is again of two type. Type 1 is like suppose A is an event of throwing one dice. B is an event of throwing a coin. Now both the events are different. They are not affected by each one of them. So number of elements in A or B would be number of elements in A plus number of elements in B. But if we have something common between two events, let us say A is an event of getting even number in dice and B be an event of getting a number which are multiple of 3. So A consists of elements like 2, 4 and 6. B consists of elements like 3 and 6. So 6 is common in both. So in that case, we will be using type 2. Okay. Now again, there is another rule that is fundamental principle of counting. This is here and indicates multiplication. Like if task 1 can be done in m ways and task 2 can be done in n ways. So both can be done in m and n ways. Let us say, suppose there are 10 rooms and my question is you have to enter by any room and come out by different door. Like if you are, there are 10 doors, you have to enter by any one door and to come out by different door. So you can say like task 1 of entering 10 doors, it can be done in 10 ways, and task 2 of coming out of the room can be done in 9 ways. So total number of ways would be 10 multiplied 9, that is 90. Okay. So we'll try to understand this permutation and combination with the help of one example. Let us say there are 4 movies A, B, C, D, out of which you have to watch any 3 movie without repetition. So what you are going to do? First of all, you are going to select any 3 movies out of these 4 movies A, B, C, D. So either you can select ABC, or you can select ABD or ACD or BCD. Means there are only 4 ways in which you can select 3 movies out of 4. So this is selection or combination. But what is arrangement? Like if you have selected movie number 1 option ABC, now either you can see A first, B second, C third, or you can see A first, C second, B third, or you can see B first, C second, A third. I mean these are all different. So in selection, order doesn't matter. That's why we have only 4 ways. But in arrangements, order matters. Like ABC and ACB are different. So I can say, so this is combination. There are 4 ways, and these all are permutation. So this combination has 6 different ways. So there are 4 combinations. So there would be 6 into 4, 24 ways. So I can say in permutation, order matters. In combination, order doesn't matter. So if you look into the formula permutation is NPR factorial n upon factorial n minus r. What is the formula of combination? NCR factorial n upon factorial r into factorial n minus r. So in this question, out of 4 you have to watch 3 movies. So it would be 4C3. So if you solve 4C3, that comes out to be 4 ways. And if you go for arrangement 4P3, that comes out to be 24. So permutation is 4P3. Out of 4 movies you are selecting any 3. 4P3, it would be 24. So this is the basic difference between permutation and combination. Now this is one another table in which you can figure out, like in some questions you are confused regarding whether you have to use permutation or whether you have to use combination. As you can see here, like if the question involves like arranging people, digits, numbers, alphabets, letters and colors, then you can go for permutation. Okay. Like, and if you have to select a selection of menu or food or clause or subjects or team, that means you're going for combination. So this table would help you to understand like in which question we can use permutation and in which question we can use combination. Okay, like here, like if you have to select three winners, first, second and third winners separately, then you're going for permutation. But if you have to select only three winners, I mean, you're not concerned with who is first, who is second, who is third, you're going for selection. Okay, in the same way, let us discuss one question that would help you to understand. Like if in a dictionary, if all the permutations of letters of the word again are arranged in an order, so what is the 49th word? We are trying to arrange the word according to dictionary. Means A would come first, then G, then I, then N. Okay. So first of all, let us start with the letter O A. We are starting with the letter A. The word is G again AGAIN. So the remaining words, the remaining characters are GAIN. So these four characters can be arranged among themselves in factorial four ways. That is 24. So we have first 24 words. Now let us start with the letter G because we have to arrange them according to dictionary. The remaining characters are AAIN. So these again are four. We can arrange among themselves in factorial four ways, and we have two A's. So we are dividing by factorial 2. It comes out to be 12. Why we are dividing by factorial 2? Because we are having 2A. Now in the same way, we start with the letter I. Again, character left are G, N and 2A. So again factorial 4 and again dividing by factorial 2 because we are having 2A. That comes out to be 12. Now if you add them, 24 plus 12 plus 12, that comes out to be 48. So this accounts up to 40th word. So the 49th word would be starting with N. So we have AAGI. So the word is NAAGI. Okay. Now we are coming into some important formulas. Like suppose if I ask you how many triangles that can be formed by joining the vertices of a polygon of n sides. See, as we know, to form a triangle, we need three vertices. A triangle has three vertices. So our answer would be NC3. If I give you 10 points, and if I ask you how many triangles that can be formed by joining the vertices of a polygon of 10 sides, so your answer would be 10C3. In the same way, formula number 2, number of quadrilaters that can be formed by joining the vertices of a polygon of n sides. That would be NC4 because a quadrilateral, it could be rectangle, square, rhombus, parallelogram, all have four vertices. So answer would be NC4. So answer would be NC4. Now the question is like this. Suppose there are n points in a plane out of which m points are collinear. Number of triangles that can be formed by joining these n points as vertices. See, the points are collinear, means they are lying on the same line. So we can't use them to make a triangle. So answer would be NC3 minus MC3 because m points which are collinear, we have to subtract that because those points we are not using for making triangle. Now like the question is like the formula number 4, there are n points in a plane out of which no 3 points are collinear. So number of triangles that can be formed by joining these n points, it would be NC3. It would be NC3. Like in the same way, if they ask you number of rectangles that can be formed by using m horizontal lines and n vertical lines, that would be MC2 into NC2. Because in a rectangle we have length and width. And formula number 8, number of diagonals that can be formed by joining a polygon of n sides, it would be n into n minus 3 upon 2. Okay. So now we are coming to circular permutation. Circular permutation means like when some persons, they are sitting around a circle. So in this case, we have two cases. Like case number 1, when clockwise and anti-clockwise arrangements are different. Like when 5 persons are sitting around a circle. And we can start counting in clockwise direction also and in anti-clockwise direction also. So order matters here. So in that case, number of circular permutations or arrangements of n distinct things, it would be factorial n minus 1. So it means if we have 5 persons sitting around a circle, circular permutations would be factorial 5 minus 1, that is factorial 4. If you solve it, it comes out to be 24. But there are certain cases when the clockwise and anti-clockwise order doesn't matter. Like suppose you have a necklace of beads. It doesn't matter whether you wear in a clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, that is same. So in that case, we are just dividing the formula by 2. So this is case 2 of circular permutations when clockwise and anti-clockwise arrangements are not different. Number of circular permutation of n distinct things when clockwise and anti-clockwise arrangements are not different, it would be factorial n minus 1 upon 2. So you just remember two formulas, case 1 factorial n minus 1, case 2 factorial n minus 1 divided by 2. First formula, in case we are not, in case there is clockwise and anti-clockwise taken into consideration, means order matters. Here order doesn't matter. It would be more clear with the help of one example. Let us say if I ask you in how many ways 10 persons sit around a circular table, then you can say our answer would be factorial 10 minus 1, that is factorial 9. But if I ask you in how many ways 10 beads be arranged to form a necklace, then you would say answer would be factorial 9 divided by 2. Factorial 9 divided by 2. Let us discuss some another question. In this question, we will discuss both linear arrangement as well as circular arrangement. First of all, try to understand question. Question is find the number of ways in which 4 girls and 3 boys can arrange themselves in a row so that none of the boys is together. How is this arrangement different from that in a circular way? So we have 4 girls and 3 boys. First of all, we'll be discussing linear arrangement. Let us first ask 4 girls to sit. They can sit in the 4 ways like G1, G2, G3, G4. Between these girls, we have 5 spaces. So in case of girls, it would be 4p4, that is factorial 4, 24. Now in these 5 spaces, the boys can sit. We have 3 boys left. Out of 5, it would be 5p3. If you solve it, it comes out to be 60. So the required number of ways would be 24 into 60 or 1440. Now let us discuss circular arrangement also. In circular arrangement, none of the boy can sit together or adjacent to each other. So we can get the required number of ways if we subtract the ways in which 3 boys they can sit together from the total number of arrangement. We have to just subtract from total arrangement number of ways in which 3 persons sit together. Let us see the total number of ways in which the 4 girls and 3 boys can sit around the table is 4 plus 3 is 7. So I have done factorial 7 minus 1, that comes out to factorial 6. Now let us assume that all these 3 boys sit together. Let us consider these 3 boys as one unit. So we need to arrange only 4 girls and unit of boys. It means 4 girls and 1 unit, that would be 5%. So circular arrangement, so the required number of ways would be factorial 5 minus 1, that is factorial 4. And 3 boys can now arrange among themselves in factorial 3 ways. So using multiplication theorem, the number of ways would be 4 into 3, factorial 4 multiply factorial 3. So the number of ways in which arrangement can take place, it would be factorial 6 minus this, factorial 4 into factorial 3. So that comes out to be 576. Okay, I hope you people are able to understand this. Okay, suppose question is like this. There are 10 points in a plane, no 3 of which are collinear. How many different lines can be found by joining these points? So answer would be 10C3, 10C3 or 10C2. 10C2 because we are making line. And if they ask you to form triangle, then in that case answer would be 10C3. Let us consider another question. Question number 6. There are 10 points in a plane and 4 points are collinear. How many different lines can be formed by joining these points? So 4 points are collinear. It means those 4 points we can't use to make some different lines. So that would be 10C2 minus 4C2 plus 1. Why I have done plus 1? Because from those 4 points we can make just one line. That's why I have added 1. Okay. If they ask you in the same question, if instead of line they replace it by triangle, Answer would be 10c3 minus 4c3, but we won't be adding plus 1 because we can't, if the points are collinear, we can't make triangle. Okay. Let us come to question number 7. There are 15 points on a plane out of which 10 are collinear. How many triangles form by joining these points? How many triangles can be formed by joining these points? So it would be 15c3 minus 10c3. Okay. 15c3. Whatever a collinear, we are going to subtract that. 15c3 minus 10c3. Let us come to question number 8. There are 10 points in a plane, no 3 of which are collinear. How many different triangles can be formed by joining these points? It would be 10c3 again. Very simple. It is 10c3. I hope you people are able to understand this. Let us discuss another type of question. Like suppose if I ask you, find the sum of all numbers formed by digits such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To solve such kind of question, we have one formula. Formula is the sum of such numbers would be factorial n minus 1 into sum of the n digits multiply 111 n times. Like in this question, as you can see, we have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 numbers. So answer would be factorial 6 minus 1. That is factorial 5 into sum of these numbers. Sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. That comes out to be 21. So it would be factorial 5 multiply 21 multiply 111 would come 6 times. Okay, so my answer would be factorial 5 multiply 21 multiply 111111. It's coming 6 times. Okay. So now let us come to some another question. Like suppose they ask a question like this. Like this question, like if there was a total of 28 handshakes in the party, then how many persons was present in the party? Or if they ask you questions like this, in a group of children, each child gives gift to every other. The number of gifts is 3132. Find the number of children. Okay. To solve such kind of question, we have one formula. By the number of handshakes. Suppose there are n persons present in the party and every other person, then total number of handshakes would be n into n minus 1 by 2. Okay. Like if there are 5 persons in the party and if they ask you how many handshake will be, so you can say it would be 5 multiply 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 multiply 4 upon 2. That comes out to be 10. That comes out to be 10. Okay. That comes out to be 10. Okay. So in this case, like in a group of children, each child gives a gift. See, if as we have one formula of number of handshake, there's one another formula of number of gifts. But in that case, just remove this two. Then in case of number of gifts, formula would be just n into n minus 1. N into n minus 1. See, sometimes if you know the formula, they can ask you reverse thing, as they have done in question number 9. In question number 9, they are saying the total number of gifts they have given you 132. You have to find the number of children. You have to find the number of children. So what you can do, you can simply put 132 equal to n into n minus 1. Then by hit and trial method, like n into n minus 1 equal to 132. Okay, are you able to understand? N into n minus 31, it would be like this. N into n minus 1 equal to 32. You just use it. This is the formula to find the gifts. So you can find it very easily. Okay. Right and trial method, you can say, okay, n would be equal to 12 because 12 into 11 equal to 132. Okay, so this formula is just similar. So as you can see the formula of handshake and gift is almost same. Means like if instead of handshakes, I just write number of gifts. Number of gifts. If I write like gifts, gift to every other person, the total number of gifts will be, just remove this two from here. Okay, this would help you to solve question. I've done it for you. I hope your people are able to understand this. Okay, let us come to our original slide. We were here. Okay, number of handshake we have done. This is number of gifts. Okay. So like this question number 10, if there were total of 28 handshake in the party, how many persons were present in the party? Now they have given you 28 handshake. So what you can do, you can just put n into n minus 1 upon 2 equal to 28. Okay, in this formula, just put n into n minus 1 upon 2 equal to 28. Cross multiply, find n into n minus 1 equal to 56. So if n into n minus 1 equal to 56, so what could be the value of n by hit and trial method? You can say value of n would be 8, as 8 into 7 is 56. Okay, so by using this method you can easily find the various questions. Now we have some dearrangement questions, like any change in the existing order of things, that is called dearrangement. Like if things are arranged in a row, number of ways in which they can be dearranged, so that none of them occupies its original position, so that now occupies its original position. Let's come back to our original slide. Just give me 1 minute. We will reach very fast. Yes, we are here. So none of them occupies its right position. You can understand this better with the help of one example. Suppose question is like this: in how many ways can you form a dancing couple from 3 boys and 3 girls so that no boy dances with his respective girlfriend? Everything has to be in the wrong place. So the formula is very simple. Formula is factorial n into 1 minus 1 upon factorial 1 plus 1 upon factorial 2. It goes on. If you notice carefully, this is 1 minus sign and 1 plus sign. So like in this question, we have n as 3. So it would be factorial 3 into 1 minus 1 upon factorial 1 plus 1 upon factorial 2 minus 1 upon factorial 3. With this only you have to solve. If there were 4 girls, I would have taken factorial 4 into up to 1 plus 1 upon factorial 4. Okay. Let us say one more example. Like if I ask you in how many ways can you put 4 different letters into 4 different envelopes, so that all letters go into the wrong envelopes. So you can say the answer would be factorial 4 into 1 minus 1 upon factorial 1 plus 1 upon factorial 2 minus 1 upon factorial 3 plus 1 upon factorial 4. So I hope all of you are able to understand these things. These are some basic concepts of permutation and combination. So you can go through this, and I will also upload this video. Okay, you can see it from there also.